The new year is here, and as I like to say, you can't ever prepare too much unless you're not acting. Then you definitely are preparing too much and you need to just act instead of prepare. That's what I tell people all the time, and it's so true. But something that a lot of people don't think about is that now will be different from later. And later will be different from now by logic, #logic. So, in order to prepare for the future, you must know what the future might hold. And thankfully, for that knowledge, you've come to the right place. And that is me, as they call me, the guru of the future. So let's do this. We got some future trending business ideas that you are definitely going to want to know about and maybe even put on your roster of things to do here in this coming year. So let's do this. Hit it, James.
The Brad Johnson Show.
I'm turning losers like you into winners like me.
You're about to enter the winning zone.
And welcome to the Brad Johnson Show. I'm your host, Brad Johnson, here with me as always, sometimes, most of the time, assistant to the host, James Kirkland. This
Here
is
I am,
the Brad
full-time.
Johnson. I'm turning losers like you into winners like me. It is not an easy task, but if anyone is up for it, James, it's definitely me.
Oh, of course. It's the choice is obvious there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of entrepreneur podcasts out there, so-called entrepreneur, but I think there are some qualifications for becoming an entrepreneur, for being an entrepreneur, and one of them happens to be like whether or not you have a Lamborghini. I mean, that's obvious.
Right.
On top of that, I mean, there's lots of different qualifications we've talked about.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, just your appearance, your wardrobe, so many different parts.
The wardrobe is huge. That is, well, it should be huge, but also is a very big deal as well to your status as an entrepreneur. Another thing, James, that we've talked a lot about as far as your status as an entrepreneur is your business mindset and having that future mindset that you're not just paying attention to the here and now, even though you're completely present in the moment, but you're also not completely present in the moment. Instead, your mind is already 1,000 steps ahead, 1,000,000 steps ahead, thinking about what's coming down the pipeline, and more importantly, what's coming up in the future.
Exactly. That's the only way to stay ahead and stay innovative and stay ahead of the competition.
Yeah. So you don't want to just follow the herd. You don't want to just be one of those losers, #loserly, who's just kind of doing their own thing and be like, oh yeah, we're the Uber of, sneaker repair. I mean, it's just copying people. Now you don't, sometimes there is a place for that, but not all the time. And so today we're talking about some business trends for the future that you want to be paying attention to if you want to have any hope of surviving and succeeding in the coming years.
Exactly. These trends are the only way they're going to survive the way the world changes so quickly.
And like I said, they call me the guru of the future because not only am I guru and like right now, I'm also doing that for the future. So all the amazing business ideas and the business things that I am implementing right now at this moment, I'm also preparing to do those in the future, which is just incredible. I amaze myself sometimes. I got to be honest.
Oh, yeah. You amaze everyone all the time.
So last year, we actually went to a little expo, just kind of a future expo type of thing at a very ritzy hotel here in LA, or over in LA. I'm not in LA. The house is outside, more in the fashionable area. But yeah, nice hotel, nice, interesting. Well, I don't know. Most of them weren't very interesting, actually. The speakers kind of...
It was pretty hit or miss.
Yeah, there was a few things. I think I could have contributed a lot more if they had me be a speaker, which I don't know why they didn't. I think they realized their mistake about halfway through the conference, and they're like, wow, why didn't we have this? Because I was just, getting up and asking questions afterwards, just completely stumping all the speakers. They're like, what? It was kind of funny to watch.
Oh, yeah. They had a huge missed opportunity there.
Yeah. Oh, well, that's why the podcast exists, though, because it's my platform for spilling my brain into your brain cavity, and that is a beautiful thing to watch. So let us get into this list. I'm super excited about this, especially this first one, which is 3D printing shops using the blockchain.
Yes, absolutely. This one is so just so creative. It's combining the three-dimensional aspect of printing and the Bitcoin. And that's really something that I don't think anybody's explored yet. And finding ways to create 3D Bitcoin even.
Yeah, exactly. And it's so cool too because like you said, this is a space that nobody's really explored yet. Uh, they call me the crypto king. That's kind of one of the nicknames that I have, and it's very very true because the crypto is just something that I saw it coming, and I was like,
Yeah.
this is going to be big. And then I was like, let me study this, which didn't take very long, honestly, because there's not a whole lot to it. Plus the fact that my brain is like a supercomputer. So I was able to figure it out really quickly and all that sort of thing. So basically, what we're talking about here is a print shop, but it's doing things in 3D. So instead of just printing a flat t-shirt, you would print a t-shirt that's not flat, okay? That's
Right.
kind of what we're talking about here. And not only that, that unflat t-shirt would be able to be checked on the blockchain, and you'd be able to pay for it in cryptocurrency and other integrations as well.
Exactly. There's just so many applications for how you can combine those two.
Yeah, and I don't want to get too much into the details because this is honestly one of the business ideas that I am exploring. So, people, you are really getting an inside scoop here. I mean, if Brad Johnson is doing something, I think it's pretty safe to say that everybody should be doing it.
Yeah, it's set up to be the next trend. It's just
Yeah.
it's just waiting to become the next trend.
Yeah, so if I'm doing it, everybody should be doing it, unless it's driving my Lamborghini, because there's just not enough room in that driver's seat, so that would not work. Okay, let's move on to this next one, number 4.
Next one is asteroid mining, which
Oh,
I think is so fascinating because they've already determined that whoever asteroid mines first, they're going to name the new metal that is discovered Bitcoin. Like, what a creative name. Like, it just does so much justice to the idea of Bitcoin to name a new metal that.
That it's something just completely out of this world that
Literally.
most people don't understand. But yeah, asteroid mining, that's huge. I've been talking to some of my investor friends, different tech people that I'm good friends with. Don't want to drop any names, but one of them has a last name that rhymes with Usk, and a first name that doesn't really rhyme with anything. So anyway, been chatting with some of my buddies in the space, just being like, okay, what is this all about? Because I mean, most people are like, asteroids, like, isn't that something that's in outer space? And the answer is yes.
That's the hardest part, is tracking down asteroid owners. That's really been the biggest obstacle in this idea, is just finding out who owns the asteroids that you're looking at, because there's so many of them. It's really hard to pinpoint who is the actual owner and has the rights to it.
It's another beauty of the blockchain and the crypto, is that we're able to actually integrate that into asteroid mining as far as the ledger that is the blockchain and the crypto, and kind of be able to put all the owners of the asteroids onto those. And actually, I'm in talks with a couple different people to actually purchase a couple of my own asteroids, which will give me mining rights, mineral rights to those as well. So yeah, asteroid mining, it's gonna be huge.
Yeah, and they're also finding ways to they're actually going to create a physical Bitcoin using the materials that they find on the asteroids, so that Bitcoin is no longer just a digital asset.
Yeah. And it's amazing too, because a lot of people don't realize that the asteroid mining is like cheaper than actually going underwater. So basically, it's really an inexpensive thing to get into if you're a successful #winnerly entrepreneur like I am.
Right. It's way easier to dig through asteroid dirt than it is through digging through water.
Yeah. Water is it can be very dense. I mean, if you hit it falling from a building, like if you've landed on water, it would be basically like landing on concrete. It'd be kind of squishy concrete, but still same idea.
Yeah, it makes mining much more difficult.
So I do not recommend jumping from a building into water. Okay. I have done, parachuteless skydiving, which is slightly different. But yeah, anyway, okay, so let's move on to the next one. This one, man, it's something that I definitely would have thought of. However, I don't think most people would have thought of it. And that's kind of what we're getting at here, is that my future brain is already in the future, whereas most people's isn't. So these are all just things that you could do, like from your basement. Like, I'm assuming you probably still live with your mother. So this is the type of thing that you could actually put into practice as an online business. asteroid mining, not quite so much. It's a little less off online. But you can do what you can do. The 3D print shop, though, that is something you can do online, especially if you outsourced. Which, if you've taken the Brad Johnson course, then you obviously should be outsourcing. The millions of people that have taken the course. Anyway, okay, so let's move on to this next one, which is migration as a service. Tell me a bit about that, James.
Yeah, so migration as a service is basically you help. It's helping people smuggle illegal products and services, and even wanted people from a different country to another.
I think you might be reading the wrong thing. This is that's the other thing. This is software.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that other idea would be pretty exciting as well.
No comment on that one. So this software migration, which is slightly different, more online, more legal most of the time. Let's seriously. Okay, that one.
Yeah. So software migration, basically, it's helping people learn how to use software in different countries. So when you move somewhere else, for example, Google is an American-based company, so you can't access it anywhere else. And so whenever you move, you have to learn how to use a different search engine, which is a lot of work.
Or migrate your Google services to another country.
Exactly.
Which involves changing the name of the service into the local language, which is difficult. I mean, especially because Google is one of those words that doesn't translate well.
Yeah, for sure. I don't even know what the etymology of the word Google is.
Oh, well, I'm glad you asked, James. A bit of a grammar nerd. And so Google actually comes from the several different words. One is go. So that's kind of the first part of the word is go. And that means to move from a stopped position into one of motion. So it has that motion feel to it. And then the next one is to oogle. And that is another word that also means to use your eyes to gaze intently upon something. So it's going to gaze intently. So go and gaze intently kind of put together. So Google is to go and gaze intently at something, which is what you do when you Google.
Wow. So interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Well, that's why they call me the grammar king and the word king too. All right. So this next one, oh man. So yeah, you do the migration as a service. There's a lot of people, the digital nomads, which I am one, but I also own multiple houses. So I kind of digitally nomad my life through my houses that I have. But then in addition to that, there are not people who do that as well. So migrate their software for them. That was a great online business that you could do from your mother's basement. Next one is the nano satellite, which I just love this idea.
Yeah, it's so interesting that technology is just so focused on shrinking things, just making things as small as possible. So a lot of people have compared a nano satellite to a drone, which I think is a mischaracterization. It is true that when you have your own nano satellite, that it does orbit your head, but it's not a drone. That's too intimidating sounding. It's not the government spying on you. It's not somebody monitoring all of your activities. It's you willingly contributing your data so that you can have a better experience on the internet by having this nano satellite following you around.
Well, and these things basically sell themselves. Like if you can't sell a nano satellite to somebody, then you were doing it wrong because, like I said, they basically sell themselves. Basically, all you have to do is tell somebody, hey, do you want to never have a drop call again? Okay. Do you want to have your internet blazing fast? Do you want to, actually be able to watch a YouTube video with no buffering? Okay, if you're not on the 5G like I am on all my devices in all my locations, then that's not a life that you have gotten to live. And what a horrible life is that if you have to wait on your technology?
It's completely pointless at that time.
Yeah.
And the other thing is you want to be able to have perfectly in-time monitoring of your Bitcoin accounts. That's where this really comes to be so important for the future is if you have your own nano satellite, you're able to monitor your Bitcoin accounts at a very rapid speed. So every inkling of a change in the market, you're able to keep up with it.
Yeah, and some of that trading that is just, it turns on a dime, or a Bitcoin dime, which is, a tenth of a Bitcoin. It's called a Bitcoin dime. All right, so let us move on to the next one, and this one's more of a trend as opposed to a business. So I think this kind of is a big umbrella term that encompasses a lot of things, and that is the wellness and natural health side of things. I think so many people are finally figuring out, wow, I'm horrible, like in every way, including my health, and I need to fix that.
Yeah, it's such an important aspect for people to change, and really it just comes from a place of discontentment that you should never be content with where you're at physically. That there's always something more you could do, and Sky is very good at reminding us of that we're always failing the Earth, and so we need to be changing ourselves in order to make up for the fact that we're killing the Earth constantly.
Yeah, and I love this niche because it kind of, you can take, if you're a smart business person like I am, you can take this niche of health and wellness and really combine it with a couple of the other things that we've talked about, and that's the 3D printing shop. Okay, I'm talking about body part making. That's a huge trend I'm seeing coming down the pike, and it's coming, people. Okay, so if you take 3D printing and combine it with health and wellness, you're able to make people new body parts. So say you wanted a bigger arm. Okay, you just 3D print that sucker, and boom, you've got a bigger arm. I would recommend getting two, but if you can't afford that, start with one. You might have some spinal problems from the weight differential set up there initially, but in the long run, I think it would be worth it.
Yeah, totally. It's totally worth it. And that ability to make yourself look exactly the way you want to it's really why we have a body in the first place, is to reach that optimum aesthetic that we're going for.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so this last one, I just want to hit this really quick, and that is starting a jetpack dealership. Now, this is something that I'm also looking into. Actually, Chad Brock, who has been on the show quite a few times, we're business partners on the hashtag InstaGym, which is still just rolling like crazy, especially in this new year. I mean, people get those New Year's revolutions going, and they're like, yeah, I got to get to the gym. Why not go to the InstaGym? Hashtag InstaGym, people. But in addition to that, Chad and I have been talking about setting up this jetpack dealership, which I am just so stoked about.
Oh yeah, this is like everybody's childhood dream come true, of being able to fly around anywhere you want in a jetpack.
Yeah.
And also the model of also having ride sharing jetpacks, where you have the 2-person and up to 3-person jetpacks, so you can save on emissions and stuff, and possibly even having a partnership with Bird scooters to have Bird jetpacks, so you can rent one whenever you're out and about and you're just running to the store. Just grab a jetpack and go on your way.
Yeah, we've talked about the partnership side of things, and I don't want to get too into the details because, like I said, these are business ideas that I, Brad Johnson, the entrepreneur of entrepreneurs, is going to be thinking about possibly doing. So I don't want to give away too much. But the partnership side of things, whatever. I think we're probably going to end up creating our own app, and we're going to. I mean, it's. The buy-in price to something like this is so cheap. I mean, it's only like $100,000 or more for each jetpack, so not much money to begin with.
Yeah,
and then
bad.
there's so many options, so much possibility here. Like I said, basically what we're going to be doing besides just the dealership side of things will also be kind of that ride sharing. But, I really shying away from, the more we look into the financials, I'm shying away from the partnership. And I think we're probably going to end up doing it on our own, kind of become the Uber of jetpacks type of thing.
Right. Yeah, I really like the idea of just being able to tap a button on your phone and have somebody just come grab you and fly you off to your destination. It's super convenient.
It's basically like, you're a rabbit and there's just a hawk and it's like, hey, you want to go to the store? Here you go. And it just grabs you up and takes you over. So
that's a great name idea.
Yeah. The hawk rabbit.
Hawk and Rabbit.
Hawk and Rabbit. Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, I'm seeing the logo already. Wow. That's good. I'm glad I thought of that. Okay, so yeah, there you go, people. There are some business ideas for this new year that you need to be thinking about doing, because I'm thinking about doing them. And you know what they say? If Brad Johnson is thinking about doing it, then you probably should too, if you have enough money, which you probably don't. So thanks for listening today, guys.
For you.
Yeah, exactly. Hire me. I could consult your business. All kinds of things, man. It could be an amazing partnership. But first of all, the most important thing is to get the course. Okay, that instills like the foundation of knowledge that I have into your brain, and it's 4 hours of video content. It's amazing. It's the best time that you'll ever have watching an online course. I guarantee that.
Yeah, there's so much bang for your buck and so much enjoyment, so many laughs and crying moments in that. It's just so touching.
But mostly laughs. So thanks, guys, for listening today. We will, if you have any business ideas that you want to get a partnership going, I'd love to talk with you. Chad and Sky and a couple other people that I work with. I mean, we're always doing crazy business stuff. So if you want to get in and invest, let's talk. So at Brad Johnson at Brad Johnson Show on all the social mediums. BradJohnsonShow@gmail.com. Get in touch with me, people. I want to hear from you. And if there's any episode ideas that you might have, if there's anything that you're interested in hearing about, hearing my wisdom on, I want to hear from you. And then James, tell them about we're going to be doing some more burning question episodes. Tell them about that.
Yes. Yeah, so we will be doing more burning questions. Those are some of our favorite segments to do, just because we can kind of get a glimpse into people's lives and how poorly things are going for them and ways that we can try and help them improve. So if you have a burning question, just make sure and put it up on social media. We will see it. Use hashtag BradKnows. And we'll try and answer your burning questions and get you the best answer possible to anything you could possibly want to know.
Yeah. All right. There you have it, people. This has been the Brad Johnson Show. Thanks for listening. Thanks most of all for sharing the show. If you find this entertaining, if you find this valuable, which I know you do because it's me, people, obviously. So share it with people. That is the most important thing. Share this podcast. We post on social medias and mediums. You gotta find us and share it and just spread the word, because that is what love is really all about. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you next time. Ciao.
You've just listened to an episode of awesomeness. Now go out and spread the awesomeness and help others fix the mess that is their life, and help them stop being a loser and start winning in business, health, and their personal life by getting them to listen to the Brad Johnson Show. Book your face, tweet your tweets, and Insta your grams at Brad Johnson Show. The Brad Johnson Show. Winners only.